All right, we're gonna have to make do today with a backup GoPro because I left it home charging. A little bit out of sorts lately, and that goes to prove it. But I am here opening up the shop so we can spend a day in the shop together, hanging out, fixing cars, getting people back on the road, hopefully learning something, having some fun, enjoying a beautiful 71-degree morning with low humidity. And we got the usual monster trucks and Fast and Furious cars and stuff going on. That's going to only add to the fun and entertainment. If you haven't subscribed yet, what is going on? This is the place to be. We worked on the project truck quite a bit yesterday. Look for that video. Probably going to have that video as one of the videos from when I'm on vacation, which is starting next week. So this whole week I'll be here, but then the week after I'll be on vacation. So we'll come up with some videos for you guys, you know, substandard sketchy videos that I probably shouldn't upload anyway, but I want to give you guys something to watch if you so desire. Some of those videos actually do quite well. I do the individual repair videos out of my day in the shop. A little bit repetitive for some of you guys, I apologize, but it helps people that are looking for that particular repair rather than spending a day in the shop with me. They just want to see one repair about their car, so that's why I do those videos. In any event, it's really nice out today. I hope it stays that way. We'll probably end up in the mid-80s, I'm guessing. Hope it's nice by you. The camera angles and stuff might look weird because I don't have any way to hold this GoPro except my extension arm. So we're gonna do what we can today. We're gonna make it work. That's what we do. Finish getting this place opened up, get in there and get started. Stay tuned. All right, it looks like they want me to work on this all week and maybe nothing else, but we'll see. Once in a while I'm sure it'll be something else. I hope it's not Ferrari week, but we'll see. Not up to me. I do whatever they ask. So what I'm going to do now is try to figure out what went wrong putting this fuel pump in so we can get that buttoned up. I got the refrigerant out of the AC system so I can do the compressor. We've got that up front ready to go. We're going to do valve cover gaskets and some other things. Going to require pulling this frame out of here, or brace, whatever it is, which means taking all the air boxes and everything back out. Let's see if we can find a way to get this float. There's a slot in the top of the tank I see. We looked at it with the borescope camera in a previous video about a week ago. The float has to go through the slot, and then you slide the fuel pump down, and there's only a window about that large that this arm should fit in easily. And then this sits into a cup in the bottom of the tank. So it should kind of force everything to line up, you would think, but it didn't last time. I'm not sure why, but we're gonna try it once more. The other problem is it's kind of under the area there. You gotta kind of go in at an angle and then somehow get it all lined up at the same time. But I think if this float goes through that slot in the top first, then anything else you do won't really matter because it's gonna go down in that slot, right? Let's give it a try. So we're gonna see how this all goes. I want to see what that is. There's something down there in the bottom of the tank where the fuel pump sits. It looks like little black rubber discs. It's either intentionally there so the fuel pump doesn't literally sit on the aluminum, or it's something that's fallen in the tank from days gone by. I don't know. But I'm going to grab my squeezers and see if I can pull that out first. There's one of whatever it is. Not sure what it is, but I know I don't want it in there. Could those have been a factor? Maybe. There's two of them floating around where the fuel pump goes. Alright. Now, I don't see anything else in a critical space like that. Kind of strange that those are in there. Alright. Carrying on. see where this arm is. It's going right down without fighting me. The arm's not being pushed up. What a strange setup. The thing that's really weird too is it doesn't have to be like this. If they just had the fuel pump module on the outside of the hole, probably quite a bit easier. But now it's got to go down in the cup that's in the bottom of the tank. At the same time, I have to clear these hoses, and I have to compress this below this ledge. Now, it's not necessarily in that little cup in the bottom, I don't think. It's hard to tell. I shouldn't be able to slide it. The arm looks like it's free floating in there, but the fuel pump is not really in the cup in the bottom. There it is. See, that's easy. 0.5. Now, should be in the right place where I can bolt this. We couldn't get the O-ring in time, by the way, so hopefully that won't be an issue. They want to get it done this week before I take my vacation for some reason. I don't know what the plan is there, but whatever. Not sure why this one has this little eyelet on it. It doesn't do anything, nothing attaches to it. It's very strange, but I'm going to put it back the way it was. Now my plan is to get all these bolts in all the way around, then I'll put the rubber gasket on here and we'll get this compressed and in place. And everybody will be winning. Hopefully. Finished getting all these bolts in here, and we'll come back showing you how tricky I am getting this fuel pump lock ring on the top. Is fun. Wow. Power tools, highly recommended. All right. A little bit of tire soap on there, fits right in. Looks like it kind of shrunk while it was apart. Holy moly, I can hardly get it on. If I put it in the fuel tank, it might push it into the tank when I try to push this down. We'll see. Yeah, it just pushes it in the tank. This thing shrunk while it was apart. That's a bummer. Well, let's catch you up. Anytime I saved taking the rubber off to get the bolts in, I just gave back getting the rubber back on. It seems to have shrunk about 1/4 of an inch in diameter. Really, really fun getting it back on. So, probably not something I would do again. The fun part is getting this down. To where this will hold it. Nope, not far enough. Holy moly, man. I hope this is the last time I have to do this. Once it gets noticeably harder to turn, that's tight. Got all my solenoids plugged in. Back in their rubber mounts. Fuel line on. Alright, I think we're past the fuel pump part of the operation. We're going to do timing belt, valve cover gaskets, some crank seals, cam seals, something like that. Might be leaking under the cover. We'll know more when we get that apart. The compressor is going to come out of here next. Looks like 6mm Allens, which are quarter drive in my set. We got to loosen a 13, I think that was up there, and the 10 adjust the tensioner to get the belt off of it. I've been cleaning it up with some brake clean, so it's not so messy to work in. This power steering fluid everywhere. It has some minor oil leaks. Most of the leaks are power steering fluid, but we'll fix them both. These AC lines are quite unusual. Hey, you're pretty far away, aren't you? It looks like I'm 8 feet away, and the camera's like 3 feet away, so that's alright. Now, my O-ring stayed in this low side line, so I don't want to lose it. I gotta match it up for a new one. Alright. Got some old school. These lines are literally the same thing that's on my 62 with the aftermarket AC. Hot rod stuff. You know this thing's a hot rod, right? Heck yeah. If you haven't driven a Ferrari, you should. I gotta loosen the belt still, but I wanted to see just how tight these were. This mess back here is gonna be interesting. You can't take this Allen out with that there, and if you take that bolt off, I'm not sure if maybe with all the other bolts out I can pivot it and slide it off of this. I might have to undo the motor mount and raise the motor up a little bit. They make the compressor look like it's easy, but it's really not. That's what I'm saying. No, you cannot have my socket. Well, maybe you can. If I can't get it back out, I just have to tighten it up to get it out. There it is. He was asking me the other day, he's like, why does this just free spin? That doesn't touch anything. I said, I don't know. You have to call a Ferrari guy. I don't know if it's supposed to be plastic on it or if it's for super high RPM. These engines turn like 8,500 RPM or something. It's like a 3.6 liter V8. So little baby pistons. That's how they get 400 horsepower, because horsepower is torque times RPM, and the higher the RPM power band is in the RPM revs, and the more the engine can rev, the higher the horsepower. But torque is what moves a vehicle. With that little bit of squirrel moment, let's continue with our compressor R&R. It's underneath the other belt too. I gotta loosen that one. We're gonna do timing belt and stuff too anyway. Might as well. This is much bigger. See, this one is good enough for the compressor, and this one is what you need for the alternator. getting these front bolts out seemed like the easiest bolts, so I figured I'd do them first. The interesting thing is, it's about the standard engineer length, a 1/4 inch. Can't get it out, need a 1/4 inch. So if the boss on the compressor was a 1/4 inch shorter, you could fit the bolt out. Anyway, this one I think will come out because the frame's not there. Oh, and the top bolt's shorter where the frame isn't. That's awesome. Ooh, doggy, that was tight. Now I can't find any instructions, so I'm flying by the seat of my pants here, figuring it out. One thing about this car is some of the things I thought would be complicated were easy, and some of the things I thought would be easy were complicated. I think that's a common thing, unfamiliar territory, you know. This will come off here eventually. And once it's off, you're like, well, the compressor should be loose, but there's another Allen bolt up here right next to the rear bracket. I don't know why. But I don't know a lot of things, so that's okay. We're gonna figure out what it takes to get a socket on that. I can't tell what size it is. Or maybe there's a bolt missing from it. Yep, the bolt is missing. The bolt goes in there, but there is no bolt in it. That's cool. I saw it move. I'm like, what the heck? But if it moves, you might wonder, well, what could be holding it? So, I'll show you what we found. I don't have enough hands, but does that show up on camera? 2 Allen bolts with a steel bracket that covers the ear on the compressor up there. So I got to take that little bracket off, or at least loosen it so I can pivot it out of the way to get the compressor off. It's trapped on this angled stud and that metal bracket, but it's not really bolted in. Where's the other one? There it is. Let's see if this will reach. I think it will. That should work. You know what? I could just take it all the way out because it's just going to be a nuisance. Electrical plug is a 1-wire connector. We're doing this because the AC blows the fuse. Sometimes it'll go a little while, sometimes it blows as soon as you turn the air on. And I don't see anywhere where the harness is touching or shorting. So we're thinking the clutch is pulling too much current. I tried going from a 7.5 to a 10, but it didn't. It still blew to 10. Look at that. It's a boy. Now I said, why does it come with these washers? It has hoses that screw to the compressor. And I pulled the compressor out of the box a little closer and I said, uh-oh, that's the wrong compressor. And then I said, wait a second. There's adapters under this cover probably. That's my guess, yes. Let's pull it off and see. Look at that son of a gun, huh? You guys are awesome. It's probably about a 17, I'm guessing. take this off of here. I think that's a 13 or 14. 13. Alright. I gotta transfer this bracket over to get an impact for that. These little bit drivers, one of my favorite tools from Milwaukee. Wicked Charlie horse. Getting old, man. Getting old, man. Now, whether it's a Ferrari or not, you drain the oil compressor. That's how much oil came out. Now, I'm going to drain the new compressor, see how much oil's in there, and compare them, and make sure about that amount or more is in this compressor. Unless this is more than about 3 or 4 ounces, I probably won't go over that. Clean out my container. Almost the same amount of oil, but it's cleaner. So I'm going to get the correct PAG 46. Put the same amount of oil back in it. I like to verify it, especially this compressor is new from Italy with no instructions whatsoever, but it does come with 2 washers. Now, if you're not such a crop baby, then you realize that the bolt not clearing the frame is not a big deal. You just pivot it down, it comes right out. What's the big deal? I don't understand what all the crap baby stuff's about. Trying to get you guys to stay positive and assume there's a reason. That's all there is. Just a little reason. I'm putting this back together. It's going to look kind of familiar. So this brace on the top, it's not equally spaced too, so to only go back on, I left the bolt in, so I know the top 2 bolts go like that, because you can't see up there. You're doing it by feel. So there's 2 bolts up here that I think I can get this started. If not, I'll stick the bolt in the compressor. Okay, there you go. Now when I put the bolt in the compressor, it should line up my last bolt, I think, if I did it right. There it is. Alright. I was thinking of doing the timing belt while the compressor was out, but I don't know, it just seems like there's gonna be too many things apart, and I don't think you have to take the compressor out to do the timing belt. Hopefully I don't regret putting this back in and have to remove it to do the timing belt. There's not a lot of information online except for a couple of videos, and most of them only show you about 10% of the work, if that. But like a lot of things, we'll make it work. Getting this nut started shouldn't be nothing but a thing. Got some new O-rings on there. Man, this is gonna be like a fully restored Ferrari when I'm done. Alright, I got timing belt parts. I got serpentine belt parts. I got tensioners, I got cam seals. I got tensioner pulleys. The problem is the bracket these supposedly bolt to can crack, so we got to look closely at that, but they didn't get me those. I hope I don't need them. I got a new door clip, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Right now, to do the valve cover gaskets, you gotta take this cross member thing off, I think. I don't know how else you would do it. It's a bunch of 10mm bolts and some Allen bolts. I'm going to take it off of there. To do that, I got to take the throttle bodies and the mass airflows I put in a few months ago back off, the air boxes, the coolant tank. A whole bunch of stuff's got to come out of there. I wish there was a way to do it without taking it out, but the valve cover doesn't look like it's going to fit out of there with it in place, right? So 10mm, 10s. I made a bolt. There was a bolt missing. I don't remember that, but there must have been a bolt missing from the air cleaner. So I made one. I cut a slot in it. I was going to round the corners off too, and I'm like, you know what? That's overkill. At least with the slot in it, one tool will take all the screws out for the air box. I think we need filters too. I'm not sure if they got them. I did pop the wiper blades on. They got wiper blades that kind of fit. So I did that real quick. No big deal. I had to unbolt them and remove them from the car because I didn't want to try to put it in service mode with stuff all discombobulated like it is. I think there's a way you can hold the washer or something and they'll come up to the top. But just removing the arm seemed a little easier at this point, basically. Let's get a 10mm, some Allens to start working instead of flapping. Bolt off the side, a couple bolts off the front on each side. Well, I'm hoping I don't have to drain coolant again and stuff, but we'll see. We'll do what we gotta do. I'm gonna try to get this thing out of here as an assembly. There's some more. Oh, there you go. I don't think it's going to start. Not this one. The one out in the parking lot. This one's going to run like a dream when it's done. An absolute dream. There it goes. Got it. No worries. Now there's some room. We got a big old air box. That's how come K&N doesn't make one of those. What's up? Maybe they do. That'd be funny. Put a K&N air filter on this thing. Really wake it up. Oh, I can see some more bolts. More bolts. Oh, this holds up a transaxle. Uh-oh. Hope that's not a problem with my idea to take it out of my way. Use my hose pick tool. I had these off before when I had the intake off. but I'd take them off again. So, getting really good at it now. It's almost like a Ferrari pit stop guy I'm becoming. Some of these things I'm just going to take out of my way to make it a little easier. I might not have to. But like I always say, first time doing anything, you're doing a little bit more calculating and configuring. This one goes to the same place over there on the vapor canister on the manifold. Loosen these clamps the same way I did the others. There is a lot of tubes going into this oil tank. Try to keep the varmints out of there. We got some mice and other furry woodland creatures around here, so I'm trying to reduce the chances they might climb in there and make a really cool nest in that sweet ass injection stack setup. There's a couple of wiring connectors that are a little tricky. But if you how to trick them, then it's no big deal. Two little push tabs here. I really wanted to do it with one hand just to see if I could. There's one on the other side just like it. Coolant bottles out, all that's out. These wires will all be out of the way when I raise it up. I got to take the Allen bolts out of front. I'm not sure if all four bolted in. It looks like two definitely just go through it, almost like guides. And two might hold it down, I'm not sure. It's not above Ferrari to have like a washer down here where it only holds it from the bottom or something. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Transaxle bolt right here. I might have to put a couple blocks of wood under it or something. I'm not sure if it will support itself on other mounts it might have. I know the axles are in there. It's not going to fall out of the car. I don't want it to drop down more than an inch or so if it's going to move. We're getting close. I don't know if we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna get. Oh no, it's after 5 o'clock already. Oh man, I'm putting in overtime today on this car. All right, guys, another all Ferraris and motorhomes day. Well, no motorhomes, not yet anyway. See what happens. Thanks for watching. Probably gonna have a lot of Ferrari content this week because they wanted me to get everything done before I go on vacation. We don't have all the parts yet. But we're gonna see. We're gonna get as much of it done as we can. We'll see. Maybe I'll pepper in a little work here in between while I'm waiting on a part or something. I don't know yet. You just got to be patient. Stop pestering me. Jeez. Click the like button on your way out if you got something from today's video. Appreciate your company. Hope I see another video because you're awesome.